Hello, everybody. Welcome to Townsend 505, or welcome back if you're a lovely viewer. Today, me, Jacob, on the right, and Scott on the bottom. We're going to be reviewing the Rolling Stones' second U.S. studio album. That's going to be 12 by 5. Um, Anything you guys like to say or add before we like to begin?
I got one thing to say. I think this is going to be a much more fun album to talk about. The last album was so painfully mediocre. This one was a much more exciting breath of fresh air, and I'm excited to talk about all the songs on it.
I'm just gonna say, time is on my side. Yes, it is.
Okay, nice. First song on the before we begin, I'd just like to say I'm so happy we're reviewing it. I'm so glad Scott is now officially joining us for at least up until Tattoo You. Uh, Great to have him on because it's always nice to have a third person discussing an album with two people who's really good, but having a third person always is nice to add. Uh, that's really about it for my thing. And yeah, I agree. It's a big step up, and it just gets better from here. The next album gets better, and fourth album gets really good with Out of Our Heads. So we'll uh, we'll just jump right into this thing. First song on the album is a Chuck Berry cover, "Around and Around."
Yeah, I could tell by listening to this song that this was a Chuck Berry song originally because it has the chord structure and Mick Jagger is singing and like the guitar starts playing and then after he sings a line, there's the cool guitar riff again. I don't think I've heard the original Chuck Berry song, but I
It's
have a
okay.
feeling the two songs are probably evenly matched. I actually thought this was a great album opener. I thought this was one of the more memorable tracks on the album. I thought it was a good kind of love letter to Chuck Berry. I liked it over the Chuck Berry covers on the last album, which didn't really do
Yeah,
it for me. Uh, this one just felt like it starting to have the energy that you come to expect when you hear something like the Rolling Stones, and I thought it was a really good opener.
I like this opener as well. You can definitely tell it's a Chuck Berry cover, but I like the way that it's kind of like some of his other songs, where it's like he'll sing and then you have ba da 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 da, and then he sings ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da 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 da.
Yeah, it's a great song. This is definitely a great song on the album. Definitely a lot better than Not Fade Away. Not Fade Away was a good song to start off that album, but this another trend going into them go like they're like first like six albums like get better and better with each opener. It's definitely a lot better than the debuts opener, and I could really like this. I listened to the Chuck Berry version before. This is a lot better than that. Chuck Berry version's all right. Never been the biggest fan of that version. I will say the last album, Carol and Route 66. I say the Chuck Berry version's better, but not in this case. I think they did a great job at paying homage to him. Next song on the album, "Confessing the Blues."
All right, I can tell this is a much more of an embraced bluesier album. I mean, there was blues influences in the last album, but this one felt more like the Stones was really embracing that genre a lot more on this album. And I felt like there was much more confidence in the production and more importantly, Mick Jagger's vocals on this album. And you can definitely tell that in Confessing the Blues. I thought it was, while I think it's kind of a predictable, has that predictable sound of a blues ballad, I still think Mick Jagger's vocals are great. I love the harmonica work on it. And I thought it was another memorable track on the album.
I think this is another pretty good song. It is, like Jacob said, kind of a more predictable blues song, but this is one of the better ones. And I like the harmonica on this song.
I agree with you guys. This is a well. I think this is a good, really good blues song, but I will say it does have like the typical blues things you expect, but it's early, it's the early '60s, so I'm not gonna be as ruthless about it because not that, but this is an early band, and right now as of now perfecting albums and like making like every song be perfect isn't like really their priority. It's not well. You'll see our Fleetwood Mac videos that were a little bit more harsh on it because it's like late '60. It's like '68, and by that time the albums like the White Album came out, Beggar's Banquet.
This song can't be as bad as "Dust My Broom," right?
Yeah, exactly. And albums like Mr. Wonderful are awful because it's like late in the '60s, you expect a lot more. But early in this game, it's I don't really expect too much. So, which it might be like, oh, why do you not expect much from them? It's like it's early. They're still young. They're still trying to find a sound, and I think this is a good song for what it is. Next song on the album is another cover, "Empty Hearts."
This one's pretty good too. You can kind of hear the sound where they're going in this song. Like it's still kind of just a basic blues song, but like the way that Keith Richards and Brian Jones are playing the guitar, like you can kind of hear what they're going to become, just like three chords and heavy rock and roll. That's kind of what they become later on. But right now it's just three chords in the blues. But later on they take those and they kind of take it to the next level. But right now it's just basic blues stuff, but they're going to be doing a lot more interesting stuff with that coming up.
Yeah, I felt like this was one of the weaker songs on the album personally. Yeah, there's real good guitar riffs in the song, and I like the way it sounds. Like you said, Scott, this feels like, I guess, kind of a prototype of kind of like the signature sound of the Rolling Stones. I gotta respect it for that. But I think that's kind of like my problem with it is like I'm expecting like you expect like the great stuff on a song like this, and this one just fell kind of flat. I think
Yeah.
Mick Jagger's vocals are a bit drowned out on this one, and I just the mixing on it's a little weird, even though there's good guitar riffs in it. It's probably one of the bottom three songs on the album for me.
That's totally fair. Yeah, they really do that in between the buttons, drown out Jagger's voice. It devalues it between the buttons a little for me, but I'll discuss that
That's
more.
kind of the Rolling Stones production style, though, is that like it's all very muddy and raw. I think they do it purposefully. Well, a lot of the reason it sounds like that on the later albums, because you're like, this is like mid '70s. Why does it sound like this on the later albums? Is because the Rolling Stones had a state of the art recording studio that could have been they could take it down and put it in a truck. It was called the Mobile Recording Studio, and lots of famous artists used it. They'd borrow it from the Stones, and they could record anywhere. So, but the only problem was taking mobile recording equipment from the back of a truck. It's not going to be as good as like fancy studio equipment. So you hear like Exile on Main Street. The reason it sounds so muddy is because it was recorded on that mobile studio.
I think it works there because it depicts the album cover and it depicts what a lot of people say. It's like you're in the basement with them. It's like
Yeah,
it's not like you're in the recording studio with them. It's like you're in like their basement, just hanging out, just watching them play some songs, just hanging out. That's part of the reason why I like Exile so much. But again, that's we're going way too far in the future. I like I said, I think "Empty Heart's" a good song, and I agree. It is a blueprint as to what's going to happen in the future. This is like more or less predicting what's going to happen in the late '60s, early '70s, more than it is when they do in the mid '60s. Because in the mid '60s, they go more into a pop direction, which I love their pop music because I love their pop music. But yeah, this is definitely like 4 years from now, you're gonna be hearing stuff like this on Beggar's Banquet. But in my opinion, they do it a lot better on Beggar's Banquet.
yeah, because it's original stuff on Beggar's Banquet.
Oh yeah. Next song on the album, "Time Is on My Side."
Yeah, this was the only song on the album before listening to it for the first time that I had actually heard. So this is the one I was familiar with. And yeah, this is one of the best songs on the album. It's got such an infectious chorus. The time is on my side. I love the style of Mick Jagger's vocals, and then he does a little bit of that talking stuff in the bridge, and just hearing him do it, I was like, okay, this kind of similar to what Steven Tyler did with some of his '90s Aerosmith hits. I'm like, okay, I can kind of see the influence there. I think Nick, you mentioned this to me the other night. Apparently, the album version and the single version is slightly different because like there's like an electric guitar that opens the song in the single version. The album version, it's the organ. I think the guitar version in the single gives it a little bit more of an energy to it than the album opener. But the use of the organ is pretty cool, and I like the use of it in the bridge, which is kind of unique for a rock ballad. I do really like this song. It's definitely one of the best early Rolling Stone songs pre-Satisfaction.
Oh, just to clarify, hold on one second. So, Time is at My Side, we all know is a pretty big hit for them for good reason. But the one that was used, the one with the guitar opener, is actually the album version from this album, which you're like, oh, this looks like 12 by 5, but without the 12 by 5 thing. Yeah, this is the UK second album. This has Time on My Side on it, but it's different because you know how they were with we don't want to sell them our singles on the album, so they made a compromise by recording a different version of it. And it's weird because the version on this album is a lot more popular than the one that's on this version, which for good reason, because like you said, the guitar opening is a little bit more energetic than the organ version on this album. But yeah, the organ was the single version, and the guitar one, funny enough, it's actually the album version.
That's funny because I like the organ version. I like, it's just like this ominous organ chord. Then time is on my side. Yes, it is. I really like this song. Like Jacob was saying, infectious chorus. Just I can definitely see why this was one of their biggest hits pre-Satisfaction. The only problem is it's a cover, so it's like whenever your big song is a cover, that's kind of an odd sign. That Satisfaction kind of needed to happen, but definitely one of the best songs on the album here.
Well, Heart of Stone was a big song for them, and that was before Satisfaction. So if technically what they really needed was a Heart of Stone. That song was really pop. Well, Satisfaction really like cemented them. Was like, yeah, these guys, like, I will agree they needed that for like to get them really, really like into like these guys are top notch. But Heart of Stone was like them. Like, we'll talk about that more when we talk about Now. But yeah, this is more of a this is them like becoming like hit songwriters now. Yeah, I agree though. This is a brilliant song. I'm on Team Organ actually because
Me too.
it's the one I'm used to on the record. And
yeah, I'm more used to the guitar intro, so I think the guitar gets the slight edge, but both intros work for what they are.
Well, I heard the first version on my Hot Rocks, which was the first Stones album I bought, but the one that was given to me, the 12 by 5 version, and I heard that, and I'm like, this is so cool. Hearing a different version of this. But yeah, next song on the album is actually an original, the first original on the album, and thankfully it's not the last original. Still
Good
on this. Good Times and Bad Times, and no, this
in
is not
the days of my youth.
Sorry, this is not Led Zeppelin.
No, I'm kind of curious how the Stones would have done the Zeppelin "Good Times, Bad Times" if they covered it.
It wasn't out yet though, so
yeah. I would say with the two artist songs with the same title, I think I like the Zeppelin "Good Times, Bad Times" more, but this is still really good in its own right. I like the bluesy guitar work. Mick Jagger effortlessly sings all the vocals, and this is one of the more memorable blues tracks on the album. The two times I listened to this album before recording, I'm like, man, this is actually a really solid blues album. And this one, I think surprised me in a lot of ways. The way he was singing, like and going, "I got the good time and the bad times," and there's some good guitar work on it. And I don't know. I read either Mick Jagger or Brian Jones did the harmonica on a lot of these songs. I don't know who did on this one, but the harmonica work on these tracks are fantastic.
I think the real hero of this song is Keith Richards, and the acoustic guitar playing on this song is really good. You can tell that they're starting to write more of their stuff, and honestly, like the stuff they write is some of the best stuff on the album. So
Yeah, for sure.
naturally, going to give the edge to this song as to some of the other stuff just because they wrote it, but still pretty good.
I agree. This is definitely a really good song on the album. It's just it's just a nice, simple blues track with nice guitar playing, and it's not like it's not like really top tier Stones material, but it's like a song that I'm like, this is really nice. I wouldn't mind hearing this like on like a playlist or something, you know?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, if I made a Stones playlist, I would actually include this on the playlist. Like, really, really good. I like it. Song that ends off the first side of the record. It's all over now.
Mm.
I think this is. Oh, Jacob's first.
Oh, I was about to say, this is my favorite song on the album.
Me too.
I love this song. This song almost has kind of a country vibe to it, shockingly. Even though it lacks some of the prime instruments in country music. But I feel like if this song was recorded by a country artist in the 60s, I could see like Johnny Cash or Buck Owens doing a version of this song, and I think it'd be just as good. It's got some really great guitar work from Keith Richards. I love the chorus. Oh, baby, it's all over now. This song, ever since I've heard it, it's been the biggest earworm on the album, and it's I think it's starting to become one of my favorite Rolling Stone songs. The more I hear it,
That will
Wow.
change the more you hear their later albums.
yeah, they got what about? They got like what
100
27
albums.
So
That's 24
there's gonna
albums.
be a lot of favorite Rolling Stone songs.
Actually, there's 24 studio albums, but we're reviewing the U.S. albums, and there's 2 U.S. exclusives like Rolling Stones Now
Flowers.
and December's Children, and Flowers. So that'll be 27 albums. So there's gonna be a lot of competition with those 27 albums. Like if when we do our top songs, it's gonna have to be it's gonna have to at least be top 25 because doing a top 10 feels so short in comparison.
Yeah,
Mm.
I can see that.
This is also my favorite song on the album. It's really catchy, and I love that. Da, 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 da. It's all over now. It's,
Damn. I don't feel unique anymore. I thought you guys were gonna say time is on my side.
That's my
This is
second
my
favorite.
album too.
Yeah.
God darn it.
Feel like we're kind of spoiling our top 5 songs on the album.
Oh, we do it constantly. But oh man, I wasn't
3 by
gonna spoil-
5.
I wasn't gonna spoil it, but yeah, this is gonna be a trifecta. This is also my favorite on the album. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be the weird one today. You're both are gonna pick Time Is on My Side, and I'm gonna be the only one who says It's All Over Now is my favorite. But
I can't tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing whenever like everybody has the same favorite song on an album.
it's not a bad thing. It just proves how great the song is.
Yeah,
Or either that or it's a bad album. That's the only good song. Is in the case
Yeah.
of, or the only song that stands out is in the case of Tell Me.
Oh yeah, Tell Me is like a different case, but
yeah.
with this album, I'm surprised you guys didn't say Time Is on My Side. But hey,
And that's my second favorite.
Yeah, that would be my number 2 as well. Spoiler alert.
okay. Well, let's not talk about tops anymore because we're gonna keep spoiling it. But yeah, this is a great song. Well, yeah. Next track of the album is a instrumental 2120 South Michigan Avenue.
So close to a Rush album name.
For real.
But for real, 2120 South Michigan Avenue was actually the address of Chess Records back in 1965. So
Oh, okay.
interesting tidbit. It's their tribute to Chess Records and kind of the Chess Records sound.
All right. The first time I heard the song, I dismissed it as like my least favorite song on the album because I'm not a big instrumental guy. But I listened to it again just moments ago before the stream, and I'm like, you know what? I'm actually kind of vibing to this song. It's got some good production to it. I love the guitar work. The organ on it is terrific.
Ian Stewart.
Ian Stewart did that. Yes, Nick's loving Ian Stewart tonight. But, but yeah, he did a great job playing that. And the harmonica use again is terrific. It's not a song I'm going to go back to because it's an instrumental, but it's not awful. It's not awful.
So
like, it's like a track that it's like a track that you like if you listen to if like you bought the album you wouldn't want to skip it automatically.
No.
I think as far as instrumentals go, because it has such a good groove, I don't think I would skip it. I'd skip the instrumental on the first album.
Oh, now I got a witness or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have a
now
witness.
I got a witness. Yeah.
So as a guy who really likes instrumentals, an instrumental has to be really good for me to like it because I like instrumentals, which sounds weird, but it's like if you're gonna put an instrumental on your album or do a long elongated instrumental section, you got to make it good. And this one's okay, but I don't think it's like it's so bad that we should take it off the album or whatever instead of put another song. I think it's pretty good, but I don't know, kind of middle of the road as far as this album goes.
I think it's a decent instrumental. I'm actually with Jacob. It's a nice viber. Just vibe to it.
Yeah,
I will say the saving grace of this is Ian Stewart. Hence why I changed it to Ian Stewart today. He's definitely the saving grace on this track, and it's a really good instrumental. Next song on the album, it's the cover. It's Over the Boardwalk. No, I'm just kidding. Under the Boardwalk. Jacob.
Well, first off, I gotta say one of my favorite R&B songs of the '60s is "Under the Boardwalk" by a band called the Drifters. I love that version. I've heard that song so many times. It's such a pleasant listen to, and I love the vocals and the chorus. It's such a catchy song. And so when I saw that the Stones was doing this, I'm like, I can't picture Mick Jagger singing this song, but all right. And I heard it, and I was like, okay, why is this song in a minor key? That's weird. That makes the song sound a little creepy.
It's only the end of the chorus that's in the minor key.
Yeah, it's like boardwalk. And then Mick Jagger's his vocals does not match like it doesn't really match like how I feel like innocent this song is. The way Mick Jagger sings it sounds almost a little sleazy in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
Innocent and the Rolling Stones don't really go together.
Yeah, and then he tries doing the falsetto that I love so well in the original song that and then the Mick Jagger doing it was like
oh, if you think that about Mick Jagger's falsetto, just wait till we get to Emotional Rescue. Oh boy.
Oh
He sings
no.
the whole, I'm gonna come to your emotional rescue. I can't wait to hear his opinion
do a
on that.
falsetto based on this song. And
Mick Jagger, he does the whole song in falsetto on Emotional Rescue.
Song.
I can't wait to hear your opinion of Emotional Rescue. I have to be on that album.
He does a falsetto on that song.
No, it's like the whole song is like, I'm here for your emotional rescue.
Oh no.
The whole song is falsetto, and then he does it an octave lower in his normal voice, and then he puts them together where he like records on top of himself, does the falsetto and the lower one at the same time, and then he does a weird spoken word thing like, I am your white knight here for your emotional rescue.
Is that singing as one of their worst albums, or?
In my opinion, some people like it.
Yeah, me and Jason are the some.
Yeah,
people.
Nick and Jason love it.
Okay, so that's more of a divisive album.
1980 though, so we got a long ways to go.
Okay, but yeah, like the title says, Mick Jagger botched the boardwalk. I did not care for this cover.
So maybe it's because I'm not familiar with the original, but I loved this song.
Yes.
I love the 60s production on this. The weird echo on their voices, like the echo and the reverb, especially when they do that boardwalk, walk. You can kind of hear that little echo there. And
Yeah, I know
like
what you're
the
talking
Charlie Watts's drumming is just very, I don't know, what's a good way to put it? Very like the sound of Charlie Watts's drums on this song is very different than on the other songs on the album.
Mhm.
I don't even know what it is about this song. It just was one of my favorites on the album.
I agree. This song is really good. I really like it. Yeah, I know. I know. It's one of those things where we have to agree to disagree because I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, very subjective.
Of course.
If you're not familiar with the original, I guess I can see why you prefer the Stones version.
Yeah, that's probably why.
I'm more familiar with the original. I'm like, this is a weird cover. I'm not vibing with this.
Fair enough.
Doesn't another artist that we know do this song as well?
Hold on.
Like, am I wrong, or did the Beach Boys do this on Summer in Paradise, that horrible 90s album?
Please, I really don't want to think about that version. No. Actually, oh my God, they did do it. Jacob, Jacob, when we do the Beach Boys, you're gonna have a whole lot to say about that version. You're gonna,
If it's gonna be worse than the Stones version,
You're gonna be like,
Totally awful 90s production. It's the very first album produced on Pro Tools, and the album is so bad that the Beach Boys pulled it off of all streaming services.
yeah, they have at least 3 albums I saw that's not on streaming services.
yeah, Jacob, this is gonna be your reaction to listening to it. You're gonna be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna listen to the Stones version now.
Yeah, I missed the days when the Stones version was the worst.
No, the version I'll go back to is the Drifters.
I know that, but like you're gonna be like, maybe the Stones version wasn't all that bad.
Well, we'll find out when we get there.
Yes.
Eventually.
Next song on the album is the second original on the album. Congratulations. Congratulations, Jacob made it through the Boardwalk song.
Yeah, we're back to good Rolling Stones music again. This is another one of my favorites on the album. Some really good songwriting. Mick Jagger, Keith Richards. I like the sharp wit that this song has. Again, great guitar work. I like the congratulations. And I like the guitar part. I'm like, that was pretty cool. Again, very bluesy, like some of the other tracks on the album. This is definitely more so of a bluesy album than anything else, but it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. You can definitely see where their manager, Andrew Oldham, wanted them to be the anti-Beatles with this song. It's like, congratulations, you just broke another heart.
Yeah.
Like the Stones were supposed to be portrayed as like the anti-Beatles, and so they were kind of the edgier group, and they haven't done anything like super edgy at this point because it's 1964. But I bet in 1964, everyone was like, "Oh, a song about breaking a heart." Oh, well, you can't do that.
Yeah, wait until you get to
We'll
some.
definitely get to edgy Stones later on. Like this is long before Sympathy for the Devil.
Yeah, or like the in the 60s, the edgiest things they did were Sympathy for the Devil and Let's Spend the Night Together. But then they actually get edgy in the 70s with stuff like Star, which we'll save that for later.
Okay.
and some girls. The
And
title.
some, yeah.
There's a certain line about.
You don't want to know what they say about the black girls.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I've not heard the song.
It's actually a funny song. It's just like there's a particular line where it's like, okay, Mick, where did that come
one
from?
line that caused controversy back in the day.
Yeah,
it's a line that they would get canceled immediately if it was played now.
Yeah.
The rest of the song is really funny because it's like them talking about like that they've been with all kinds of girls because they're the Stones. But there's this one line where it's like, oh, okay, that just happened.
Yeah, I love Some Girls, the album. You're gonna like that album, Jacob.
You just got to be prepared for a particular line in that song.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a reason why there's a red E next to it. We'll just say that.
Yes.
Ready. Oh, okay.
Like it being explicit.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think
Gotcha.
that's the first song that they actually cussed in, if I'm correct. But
No,
No,
Stupid Girl.
then there another famous song they did that's just the B word.
Oh, love
oh,
is up.
on what's it? It's on
Sticky Fingers. Love
except
is
except
up.
that's actually a good song. I
Uh,
might get hate for saying that, but
What's that?
uh, I said except that's actually a good song. I don't know if people who know me are gonna be like, "What? You actually like that?" But
Okay.
That's a great song.
it's the horn section, okay?
Not only that, but you know what? They're actually one of their first song that they cussed in was "Stupid Girl," where it's like she blanks.
Oh yeah, same word.
Yeah.
Except that's not as bad. Like in some girls, it's the F bomb.
Yeah, that's like
But
the
in my opinion, like when I
mother of all curse words.
when I first
That word.
when I first heard "Stupid
Christmas
Girl,"
story.
when I first heard the Aftermath album and I heard "Stupid Girl," I'm like, did he just say the B word? I actually had to.
You know what's
rewind it.
funny is that when I was younger, that's the reason I didn't finish that album is because I heard that and turned it off, and I didn't get to hear all the other really good songs on the album that didn't cuss.
I think "Stupid Girl" is one of my favorites from that album.
Like
Well,
it's an okay song. There's other songs I like a lot better on there, like "Under My Thumb," and what's the
Jane.
one? Yeah, Lady Jane, and what's the one with the "Go home and don't you bother me no more"?
Oh, don't you
Yeah.
bother me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of Stone stuff.
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Way ahead.
Enough
Yeah.
about Stone's controversy. We'll be talking about that quite a bit.
Yeah.
We're getting out of our heads.
Let's get back to the 12x5 with the 3x3.
Yes, we want to jump ahead, but hey, you can't always get what you want. So let's go back to 12x5.
Okay. I really like "Congratulations." One of my favorites from this album. Nice, slow, easy song. Definitely the best original on this album compared to the other three. Yeah, this is a really good song though. Next song on the album is the third and last original on the album, and
Oh,
that's
it's great.
"Growing Up Wrong."
This
Growing
is
Up Wrong.
This is my least favorite of the originals. The other two
yeah.
are a lot better.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like it's not like a bad song. It's got a good chord progression. Growing around, but I don't know. The structure got a little too repetitive for my liking, and I don't think it flowed as well compared to the other originals. But it's not horrible. I'll take it over Boardwalk, but it's still not a great song.
That's fair. I think it's one of my favorites from this album. It's an instant earworm for me. Boom, 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 boom. You're going up all wrong. When you're going up all wrong, you come on too strong. And the guitar playing, top notch. Again, just proving how great of a guitar band they are. This is, like I said, this is one of my favorites, but I totally get why it's your guys' least favorite. But yeah, I really enjoy this track. Next song on the album, "If You Need Me."
Okay, so this is my biggest complaint about these Stones album is it's all blues. Like what I like about Out of Our Heads is they have a few of these blues songs, but then they got like the original songs that are different, like Satisfaction, Play with Fire, Under Assistant West Coast Promotional Man, and then you even have like some blues songs that are kind of different, like This Could Be the Last Time. But then early stuff, it's like all the songs pretty much sound like this, and some of them tend to run together, and this
That's
is
fair.
one of them.
I'll go on a little rant about that. It's like that for every British Invasion band at this time. It's just this is like at this point in time, album making wasn't really known as an art. It wasn't known as something that needed to be perfected. Even the Beatles were even like they were guilty of doing that. Like after up and even from the debut to Help, their songs really it really starts to blend together at times. Help.
Oh yeah, with the Beatles has a lot of songs that are just like there.
Yeah, like that's my problem with early British Invasion records is that like Scott said, it just starts to blend together after at that point, and it's not just the Stones that was doing it. It's the only band that wasn't really doing that to me, in my opinion, was the Who. That was
But
just
their debut came out in '65, so they
yes.
they had a few more years on them.
I
Hmm.
guess they were one step ahead of the curb.
Yeah.
but
Plus, they released like their signature song on their first album, My Generation.
yeah,
Even though, oddly enough, that wasn't in my top 10 whenever we did the Who top 10.
Oh yeah.
I think as for me, I can definitely see the criticism about the repetitiveness, the sameness, because they did a lot of blues stuff on this album. But I still didn't mind the song. I thought it was another good blues ballad. It's I think one of my issues with this album, the first half is great. The second half lags a little bit. I don't think the songs on the second half are as strong, and I think this is definitely one of them. This one, it's got some good production to it, and I don't mind the song. I'd put it on a playlist of Rolling Stone songs because I think it works for what it is, but it definitely lacks compared to how great some of the early stuff are, especially compared to Time Is on My Side, which is a great song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's totally fair. I think this is a great song. This is a lot better than the last song. You can make it if you try. This is another
Oh,
one.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
yeah.
This is like their second attempt at making a soulful song, and they do it a lot better on this track, and they do it better on the next album too. Rolling Stones now. Trying to remember which one. Pain in My Heart. They do it a lot better in that song.
Here's the thing about Rolling Stones now is I don't remember how any of those songs sound other than Heart of Stone because I was listening through the discography for the Rolling Stones ranking and like it just all ran together with the blues at that point. So I'm looking forward to revisiting that album so I can like find some other tracks I like on that one.
Oh yeah, when you listen to Rolling Stones now, the thing about it is that before you were trying to, it was more forced. It wasn't like
Same thing I bet with Exile on Main Street. I bet I like that one a lot better when I listen to it.
that's the thing with the Rolling Stones albums you were listening to, the ones that you weren't crazy about, because you were kind of it felt like forced.
Yeah.
'Cause
12 by 5 I enjoyed a lot better this time listening to it.
most likely because it was authentic. It was like, you know what, I want to listen to it. I don't have to listen to it for a ranking anymore. This is like something I'm choosing to do.
I will say I like 12 by 5 better than Fleetwood Mac's debut.
Mm.
Well, yeah, because this is like 64 and that album was 68.
Yeah, if that album came out in '64, it would be a lot better.
Yeah, it would be a lot more excusable because, I mean, the best album, in my opinion, that was released in 64 was In the Holly Style. So, not much competition for me. So,
Boom, 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 but oh wait, no, wrong version. Oh, gonna have to wait till next week
Yeah.
or
Like,
tomorrow.
actually, tomorrow night.
Sorry, tomorrow, man.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
see, we're not doing the Beatles.
We're
this
doing
week.
we're doing
Season
CC.
one.
Credence, I love Credence.
Credence this tomorrow night, 9 o'clock East. No, 8 o'clock Eastern time.
I love.
Yeah, I
Credence.
think it's for us. That's 9 o'clock, right?
Uh,
What time? What time are we doing it? For?
times our time zone, Nick. It's 8 o'clock.
I think that's 7 for me.
And then 7 o'clock. Scott and Jason's time. I just see Jason on the live chat.
And I'm gonna bring my
That's funny.
just listen to Susie Q, but by a different band, the best version of Susie Q.
Absolutely. Like
I am definitely gonna be. I'm gonna be bringing my my record with me when we do that review because I have all the Credence albums, all of them, all 6 of them.
nice. All 6. Yeah, that one album. Yeah, I think for many fans, it's like,
I might-
that one doesn't
I might
exist.
buy it just for completionist's sake, but I'm never gonna listen to it other than one song, which you'll see is pretty amazing. But
Yeah.
the rest of the album's trash.
But yeah, as for the Stones version of Susie Q, the album closer, I'm like, it's okay. Like, obviously, it's hard comparing when you have a much better version that came out a couple years later by
Yes.
Credence. But for a short, less than 2 minute version. I think it does the job well. Mick Jagger sings on it fine. The production's fine, but it just doesn't feel as polished compared to what CCR would do.
No. Yeah, that's the problem. Is that if I hadn't heard the CCR version, I'd think, oh, that was a pretty decent cover. But when you've heard the CCR version, you know what that song is capable of. CCR did it a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. CCR did a whole lot better. No comparison, really.
Oh,
But
you
it's like-
matched it with the 12x5 colors. The background is the Rolling Stones and the.
Oh, I wasn't trying to do it by that. I was just changing the color.
Okay.
But yeah, it's no CCR. But like to be fair, it's like comparing a bowl of ice cream with caramel sauce, comparing it to a bag of pretzels. The pretzels is good, but ultimately we're going for the ice cream. But what is your guys' top 5 songs?
All right, top 5 songs. Got my list here. At number 5 is "Congratulations." Number 4, "Good Times, Bad Times." Number 3, "Around and Around." Number 2, "Time Is on My Side." And number 1, "It's All Over Now."
I'm gonna, you know me, I've got to do them in order, or I'm gonna mess it up. Number 1 is "It's All Over Now." Number 2 is "Time Is on My Side." Number 3 is "Under the Boardwalk." Yes, it is.
Wow.
Number 4 is going to be "Good Times, Bad Times," and number 5, "Confessing the Blues."
Yeah, I agree. Number 5, "Under the Boardwalk." Number 4, "Time Is on My Side." Number 3, "Run Up Wrong." Number 2, "Congratulations." And number 1, "Because I used to love her, but it's
It's
over."
all over now.
That's such a good one.
Why does "It's All Over Now" on the screen?
Because why not?
Yeah. I do got 2 honorable mentions, which are "Confessing the Blues" and "If You Need Me." "Confessing the Blues" was really close to making the top 5. I will say that. And then the dishonorable mention, "Under the
No.
Boardwalk."
For me, it's "Around and Around" is the honorable mention.
Believe it or not, my honorable mention is "If You Need Me," and the dishonorable mention would be 2120 South Michigan Avenue. But it's not that much of a.
But Ian Stewart.
You love
It's-
Ian Stewart. Don't you dare disrespect Ian Stewart.
Okay, Ian Stewart has the organ intro to "Time Is on My Side." If you listen to the album.
Yeah.
Yes. If you listen to the 12x5 album, if you listen to the number 2 album in England,
I hate that title, "The Rolling Stones number 2."
I know it's such a generic album name.
Yeah.
But it's even though, like I said, I still really like the instrumental, mostly because of Ian Stewart. So it's not really a dishonorable song. It's more or less just
Probably. That's your
it's
least
just
favorite.
yeah, it's the least favorite. What is your guys' scores?
All right. Well, I'm going 7 out of 10 on 12x5. I think this is a much improved album. The second half is not as strong as the first. I think if the second half was stronger, I probably would have given this an 8 out of 10. But I think because I didn't care for Under the Boardwalk and the second half just wasn't as strong, it's like, I can only go as high as 7. But the highs are really high on this album, especially with "Time Is on My Side" and "It's All Over Now."
I'm going to go slightly under that at 6.75, but on a good day, I would round up and go to 7.
That's the score I gave up. Please me 6.75. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Because
Okay.
there's no lows on this album. There's like I said, the lowest we're getting on this album is 2120 South Michigan Avenue.
Every time you say 21, yeah, I just think of Rush. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Every time I listen to the instrumental, I'd much rather listen to that than any of the weak stuff off of "Please Please Me," like specifically "Taste of
A
Honey."
waste of money.
Honey.
Yeah, Not that, but I think this is a lot better than the With the Beatles album.
Boys. I love the ball.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah, this might be a hot take, but I like this album a lot better than With the Beatles.
With the Beatles is it needs help, and I'm not talking about the song.
I know it needs lots.
It needs Meet the Beatles. That's what it needs. It needs I Want to Hold Your Hand. That's what it needs.
Yeah, we'll talk about those songs.
Yeah, well, that'll be an upcoming review on my channel. Hopefully next week.
Yes.
Schedule wise.
Oh yeah, and next week if we could schedule a video, just me and you, we could start our Johnny Cash series. So
I can't wait for that.
Man, do you know how many albums Johnny Cash has?
lots.
Like 50 something.
Me and Jacob could handle it.
We
But
got
with only 2 people, you can breeze through those.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be easy. But yeah,
I have listened to the American Recordings album. That's the only Johnny Cash review
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
channel at the moment, which
yeah,
happens to be one of my most popular videos. I don't know
that's
why.
cool. I'm excited about covering those. I think it's one of the American albums, American 2. The backing band on that was actually Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Wow. Rick Rubin produced those albums.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a update. So like for every 2 Rolling Stones albums we review, we'll be reviewing 1 Johnny Cash album. So like 2 weeks Stones, 1 week Cash. It's gonna alternate until we finish the Stones, and then we'll start the Beach Boys, and it'll be the same.
Oh, you can
Thank
count me in for the Beach Boys.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Even the crappy albums.
Yes, unfortunately, even the crap.
Good evening, gentlemen.
I
Good evening.
want to just take a crap all over those albums.
Not all of them are bad. This again. I'm
sure they have
Born in
more good
Paradise.
albums. I think, especially if it's a band you really like, and it's like a very highly well-respected band. I think usually there's more good albums than
Well,
bad albums.
it is, but they in like the late 70s, 80s, and 90s, they become a parody of themselves. It's hilarious, but it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh yeah, I agree. But well, that should conclude the video for today. Thank you guys for watching. Stay in tune for tomorrow's video where me and Jason will be reviewing the Kinks. Well, me, Jason, and Scott will be reviewing the Kinks. Not 4th, not 5th, but 6th studio album. The Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society. Stay tuned for that. And next video you'll be seeing with me and Jacob will be reviewing Johnny Cash's debut album. So,
All right.
Beach Boys plus Pro Tools, it's a love thing.
It's a love thing.
But thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So long.
Bye.